And we're live. Exciting. This is another surprise live stream. So I'm gonna need a second, and as Cole will as well, to post links to it in our various communities so folks can join us. So give us just a minute. But before we do that, I just want to briefly explain why we're here. We're going to be building a Discord bot, an AI Discord bot with Valtown for Cole's Rust Discord communities, which I'm super excited about. And I think we're actually going to use this Discord bot that we build in the Valtown Discord. So that's super exciting. We'll give us a minute to share some links, and we'll be right back with you. Just going to YouTube to get the YouTube link. All right, great. I got that link and sharing it with Mr. Cole so he can send it to his friends. And I'm going to go to the Valtown Discord and let folks know about this. Cool. That is sent. And almost done. Just retweeting this on Twitter. Cole, while I'm finishing up this, would you mind introducing yourself for folks and telling everyone what brought you here today?
Sure. So I currently am kind of like the digital steward of a few Discord communities. Namely one called Rust East Coast is my main focus. But I plans to build other ones for my locals here in Rio. And I've long wanted to kind of solve a problem with how people like to communicate, where people didn't really adapt to posts and the sort of form setup for Discord, and really like this sort of stream text content because it's much more fluid and it's easier to work with. So a natural nudge that I started seeing a trend in was kind of setting up threads automatically. So when somebody writes a message, immediately a thread is created. Nowadays, it can be done with AI to actually title what that thread is. And that sort of nudges my community to use good practices for consolidating and organizing their messages. I have a feeling this is resonates a lot with Steve because he managed some very large Slack communities that constantly had to move people's messages around to keep it organized. And I'm having the same kind of issue.
Totally, yeah. And I'm showing folks now on the screen, this is the Valtown Discord. And in our general channel, I have this app installed called Needle, which whenever anyone posts a message, it automatically creates a thread about the message to encourage people to reply in the thread instead of, at the top level. So Cole and I are of the same mind here. Threaded messages are awesome.
Yeah. Where I'm a bit type A about everything being findable afterwards and not having to scroll back to understand what the community's been up to. So yeah, very, very excited to work on this. I've always seen Valtown as the right primitive for tools like this, where we have very few users. Technically, we don't have to deploy to a large scale of thousands of people. We're starting with one person, and that one person's you. So removing all the deploy steps and checks and CI and things that have been built for much larger projects that create friction to get started we can just write some code, send a message in a test channel, see if it works, and go from there. And write in real time what's going on. And then once we're done, it works, we can log off. We don't have to then go follow the production deployment. And if somebody has a problem, it's going to be in one of my few communities or in Steve's Valtown Discord, and we can just patch it on the spot. And that just makes it super easy. And as I understand it, Valtown's observability tools and logging is going to help us a lot in that sort of iterative development. It's been a while since I built a lot with Valtown, so I'm excited to revisit the platform. It has been actively working already for my communities.
Do you want to
And
show
we're
us
going,
that form and kind of walk us through that workflow of the existing Val you have?
yeah,
I think it's
I
a
definitely can.
cool use
Let
case.
me, let
Yes,
me
the
pull it up.
there's a screen share button within StreamYard. Let me know if you
Okay, let's see. We have StreamYard share. I have 2 monitors, so I might try with this first monitor. Let me first update my display settings so it's easier to see on for all people. Yeah,
yes,
that's a bit zoomed in. I like that. Uh, okay,
nice.
so this is my current Val that we might kind of fork because I recall it being kind of annoying to set up a Discord bot. I had to kind
Hmm.
of associate a couple places to figure out the right permissions, but
Yep.
all that stuff has been set up here. I have a bit of tutorials, I think, in this Val on how to set up the permissions correctly.
Whoa.
This is a public Val, so you can see it, see all the code, see how it's written and stuff. I don't have any AI running through it yet, so that will be one thing that we're going to adjust with it. Then we'll actually do this sort of listening for messages, which will require some permission stuff, I think, to figure out. So we'll do the hard part, but not the setup part.
Nice.
So let's try this out. So I usually send people to, they usually get to this page through rust.nyc, and then they can click this link right on our front page. And that's where they actually submit their talks. So we can actually demonstrate how that works. So I'd say, my name is Cole. I want to demonstrate, using Valtown for a talk submission. Again, we are using the production, and that's fine because we're the only ones using this app, and I'm gonna change the Discord. So I can also say whether I'm submitting it to somebody else. So I'm just showing one of the features that already exists. So this is what happens. You're not seeing the notifications because they landed on the other screen,
Hmm.
but it did create
Nice.
for my Discord a channel here. So this last one,
Nice.
31, it creates that and drops in the speaker context.
So
Um,
cool.
right? Yeah. I was very happy because we were always struggling. So there's a lot of other small tools you can imagine. So we have this kind of very human process of, you know, I ask my co-organizers to redate these channels when they actually have a date, and then we manually reorder
Hmm.
them.
Hmm.
It works well enough, so that's fine. But it was something that was really helpful to have this automated because I could say no date is always there. It has to be there. The no date prefix, which is one of those type A things for me, because I have to manage all of these different, channels. This one already happened. So we actually will manually update this. Boop,
Cool.
past events. So anyway,
Nice.
what would happen is we communicate with Cole here. Cole could join it because we have our like invite link, or you could copy the invite link if you made it on behalf of somebody else, which is common for our organizers. Our organizers may submit a talk on somebody's
Mm,
behalf. So we kind of just thought about like, what are we usually doing? So that link should land us, into the channel itself.
amazing.
So very cool thing already exists, but next thing has always been on my mind is something that includes AI, and that's going to be automatic thread creation. So like here, when somebody posts a thing, I kind of want AI to enrich this and create a thread, because usually I'm the one who's going in here and saying like meetup for beginners, and then I do something passive aggressive like that, and then I hit send, and then it creates. And because if I know that the thing is going to have like traffic, because I want to immediately like get people to see, hey, please like organize. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. The goal of what we're
Yep.
trying to build. Um, I will have to refresh my memory a bit on the code, maybe, or we can use, and I might have to pull this up in my editing environment, because this is another thing that is a little bit nice, is this is already actually deployed from GitHub. So I
Hmm.
can show you how that works really briefly to see the full context. We have this public repo. This
Hmm.
is where somebody could actually, interact with it. Um, I don't know how I did a format command that literally changed every file, but I guess I did. That's makes this look very dormant, but this is where things get deployed from.
Huh.
And as you can
Deployed
imagine,
to Valtown.
yeah, which is a beautiful process. I don't
Can
know
we
if
here?
you want to
Um,
see how it deploys to Valtown, but
yeah, I want to see that command in your
it's
in that.
one of the beauties of your design, Steve, honestly. You can see our command is set up Deno, install Valtown,
And then push.
Valtown push. It's like, so the way that we got here was just doing it manually. You type some code, you're using Claude code, you're actually doing things locally, and then you have VT installed. And then when I'm done, I would do VT push, or I would do
Nice.
VT sync, right?
Sorry
Um,
to interrupt just right in the middle of you, but I just want to say hi to someone who commented because I love it when people comment. So I think we have his name is Danish. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but thank you so much for commenting. It's really fun when people comment. So really awesome that you're here, and other people are here. Please say hi or ask questions or comments. All right, back to you, Cole.
cool. Let's make sure my environment is set up a bit better as well. I just started. Let's see where we go for this.
So just to be clear, Valtown is kind of a deployment environment. So you're not editing the code on Valtown directly. You're editing it more on GitHub, and then GitHub is the source of truth.
Yes. So GitHub is currently my source of truth.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Interesting. It's cool.
on that, yeah, because I am constantly changing out my development tools, as you can imagine. Um, so like we're going to get set up right now. We'll probably be in a prompt loop for a lot of this. That's where my comfort zone is right now.
Great.
I'm also playing with a new agent for me
Hold on,
called
let me
Pi.
guess. Oh, Pi. I wouldn't have guessed that. I've never heard of that one.
What would you have guessed?
I was gonna guess
AMP?
AMP. You knew
Oh,
it. You knew it.
I love AMP. But after, well, one sec. Please update Valtown Deno through Mies commands
Nice.
G and we'll just grab the
Sure.
so we'll have that running in the background. I loved AMP. I'm a big fan of their team, but it is cost prohibitive compared to other agents, and we hired somebody who was customizing Claude in every way. And so we started trying to adopt Claude. And we could do a lot more like very specific to our code base stuff. So we got kind of hooked on sort of like specific patterns of using agents to build out our technology. And this is at Phosphor.
Maybe
And
pop open a link to Phosphor so folks can see where you work.
oh yeah. So I work at this company, and we basically develop a version controlled workspace for financial models and contracts. So our core like value proposition is when you have a project that you're developing over many months, sometimes years, you have new contracts that come in that have to be applied to the massive financial models, and you have to go back to that bank and give them updates to say, hey, these are new numbers because of X, Y, and Z. Phosphor is unique in that it actually links everything together. It links together the contracts to the financial models, to the history of conversations and risk analyses that are contributed by your underwriters to say, here's exactly why that number changed.
Hmm.
That is just an unsolved problem at the moment. Because the world runs through Excel and Word and email right now for these real asset development projects. Real asset development projects would include things like solar projects, where you have a site that you rent or lease for a decade or more. And then you have developers who actually construct and install solar panels. And you have relationships with energy providers on how you're going to sell off the energy produced. That's the background of my co-founder, is that work. But building a platform like this also extends to anything that's like can be tens of millions of dollars in development work.
So cool.
And so that's what we're building, and we're a little obsessed with AI agents right now and optimizing our setups.
Nice. Like everybody.
Yeah, it's a bit of a zeitgeist, isn't it?
It is.
But let's see where we got to. Let's see, can you verify? Okay, so here we are, and we can start to either spec this out. And
One kind of silly question for you. This probably doesn't matter, but do you at all want to change the name of this repo and val to like Rust NYC Discord bot or something? Like, you want to change the name at all, make it more general, or am I being silly?
I'm not sure yet.
All right. We can lay that
I think
to
we
later.
can fork it out or make it just like the general bot. It's a little bit confusing right now because I had a false start with a Discord bot at one point.
Got it.
So there's probably a Rust NYC Discord bot somewhere in here already, if I remember right, but I don't see it.
Cool. All right. So
And
we'll
I
just
can't be
stick it.
certain if that's like
Yeah.
configured
All right.
correctly.
Cool. So we'll just start, and then we'll figure out the naming and organization later.
And if I change this name, I don't have to change the val, or do you? I mean, we can name it something more generic if
No,
you're, because I
no,
have
no.
the
That's it. I think I was
certain
silly
key.
for bringing it up so early. Let's write some code. Let's get things working, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, let me.
Huh. Damn. That's a disappointing agent reply.
Did it?
It was just like,
Was
how do you want me to
unhelpful.
do it? And it's like, no, dummy, figure it out. Like, try stuff.
Yeah, let's see if I can
Like, that's your job.
empower
If
it.
we knew how. Oh, interesting. Operate understanding authorization. Take initiative. Ooh, look at you. Oh my God. Why does it ask you to run a network call?
Okay, looks like we have to. We'll
Okay,
try running
looks like it didn't work. And it failed in like kind of a hilarious way.
the VT login.
Yep.
Um,
Cool. We're working on a better authentication mechanism, FYI, but yeah, this is good for now.
let's see, I can.
Oh
Can I
no,
roll
we
this?
don't let you. Unfortunately, no, we don't have buttons for that. You should have to create a new key. But
It might
that's a
have
good feature request.
expired.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Okay, so well, I can make the token and just confirm that we have everything we want. I know there's some new things like with SQLite. Each val can have like its own database
Yeah,
by default.
I would just throw all the permissions in there for your local development token.
Okay.
Or another option for you is instead of doing VT and VT auth like you're doing now, is you could install an MCP server. You'll probably want. Oh, hold on. Before you create the token, maybe put it on a different screen because it might show the token.
Okay. Another feature to hide the token.
Yeah.
Okay, I did create a token. I'm going
Great.
to.
I
Okay,
think
says hide.
pasting it should hide it, but we'll find out.
Okay, I have some feedback for you, Steve.
Nice.
That um,
All right,
you
here I'm
should
gonna.
just accept every possible alias to VT with a warning. That would be very agent centric.
Yes, that's a great idea. Okay, so
Okay.
you said VT up. Another option, alternative / in addition, is you could Valtine has an MCP server. So if Pi works with MCP servers, so it's really funny in my opinion. The question of should you have your agent, your terminal agent, use a CLI or an MCP server, because in a lot of ways they're two sides of the same coin and it doesn't really matter. I am a little bit partial to MCP servers because of this random property about them, which is that they're cowboy APIs. Because there's this implicit assumption that there's inference in front of every MCP tool call. MCP's APIs are not precious. They're not contract promises. They're more like a UI than an API. And so our MCP surface area is just so much bigger and more powerful than our CLI API surface area because we're not precious about it. So anyways, that's a pitch for MCP servers. I used to be an MCP hater and I still kind of am, but they do have this one property I do like.
Yeah.
And then another option for you, of course, is we have our own built-in Townie. So instead of like setting all this up, Townie is like already set up in the browser. And so it like, in theory, this is more what you're comfortable with. And once we get it set up, it'll be more powerful. But if you want to skip all the setup stuff, Townie is right there, ready and waiting.
Perfect. Yeah. I used Townie for probably the first half of the development of this.
Nice.
So it was there at that point. But I think I may have helped contribute better prompts for its usage of SQLite, if I remember right.
Yes, you did.
I'm going to do less. I'm going to do a lot of dictation, but while we're sort of like back and forth, I don't want to like talk over you accidentally.
Oh, yeah. No worries. If I ever, I would love you to just go for it, and I'll stop talking. You coding is more important than my narrating.
Cool. Okay, so I think have our setup. It's just kind of like I just went through and wanted to refresh. So I'm going to make a commit.
Neat.
And then we will start to put this into action.
Nice.
So first things we can do, I guess I will, in case it annoys people, update my agent actually.
While you're doing that, I want to briefly talk about this approach to coding with AI that my friend Jeffrey Litt has been here. I'll swap out our medias. Has been promulgating. It's called Coding Like a Surgeon, and it's kind of in contrast to vibe coding. Like one thing that Jeffrey and I, and maybe others, maybe you, Cole, are passionate about is, can we use AI to make our understanding of the problem area that we're trying to code in deeper? You know, like a big tragedy of AI is we have these intelligent agents, and they seemingly make us dumber. And while it is nice to have some other intelligence handle details for you, so you don't have to worry your brain with low-level details, wouldn't it be awesome if we could somehow use AI to make those details more interesting, more understandable more quickly, that sort of thing? And so Jeffrey has this vision of, an operating room where a surgeon is has all these assistants, like giving them the scalpel when they say scalpel, preparing the person's body, that sort of thing. There's this other metaphor, mise en place, which is like a sous chef setting up all the ingredients for the chef to come in and boom, 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 cook really fast. So to emulate this worldview, I took the liberty of asking AI, two different AIs, one on Valtown and one on ChatGPT, I gave it all the context of what we're doing, and then I asked ChatGPT to do a deep research report, and then it was too long, so I asked it to give me the top 10 tips, and same on Valtown. So I have two different reports, but I'm gonna shut up about it and basically I just want to let you and the audience, Cole, and let the audience know that I've done a lot of background thinking, so I've got a lot of pieces ready for you whenever you need them.
Okay, cool. If you want, you can send me the guide that you prepared, and I can
Send it to the agent.
send it to the agent and see where it goes.
Sure. Yeah, we could do that. The guide is really more for us humans to like think through things, but I guess it's also for that's what's neat about producing documents like this. It's useful for humans and agents. So I guess I have two different ones. Yeah, sorry.
I'm cleaning up my current commits. I might have had more changes since the format commit. I am unsure about which version is currently deployed, but I assume that we'll be able to. Well, I have it. So we can probably see here a
You
bit.
could just go to history on the bottom.
Oh yeah,
Bottom left of the there you go.
history.
And you can look at the date, I guess. So it looks like there hasn't been a deploy in a while.
Yeah, I'm uncertain but it should be fine. Let's assume a little bit that it does work fine. not too worried about this going down. I'll fix it later. We'll just focus on the new functionality that will exist in this code base.
Cool.
So I just pushed, and we should see in like 30 seconds that the history gets updated because it will sync over
From GitHub. Cool.
from GitHub. Yeah. So there's our deploy is going. It's done.
Nice. Maybe for fun, if you want, totally up to you, we can create a branch and then using the Valtown CLI, or you can ask your agent to do it, or you could do it in the UI. Totally up to you. If you go, yeah. Nice. You found
Say
it.
branches.
And so you can check it out locally, and then in this branch we can skip GitHub and push directly to the branch on Valtown, which will speed up the development loop. And then when we're done, you can push from to GitHub and do your normal deployment.
Okay, let me.
I love your GitHub deployment method, but I am deeply sad by 30-second deploys to Valtown.
Could be a myriad of things. Let's see what that does. We'll just play with it. But I'm also very comfortable working on main at the moment because we get like one person submitting a talk.
Yeah, the only reason to not work on
minimum.
main is because I want to let you keep GitHub as your source of truth for main, and not have like.
Oh, and you
know.
want to do like sync.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can. So would that be like using Valtown to create a branch and setting up our CI for that? Or we could just say create a branch locally?
Yeah, so I would just, it'd probably be faster to do it manually than ask AI to do it.
Okay, let's do
To be
that.
honest, just VT checkout -B. It's like Git, and then you can give it a name.
Okay.
Cool. Enter.
Okay, we'll do our thing
Nice.
here.
Cool. And
Okay.
then I would do like VT. Yeah, that might be it. I thought it was VT like watch, but VT sync might be an alias for it.
Oh, that's my
VT
bad.
maybe like push -- watch. Oh no, cool. VT watch was it. Sick.
So what will be kind of weird for this is I thought that we would have to get like a webhook endpoint for Discord somehow. Or did
Okay.
you do the pre-work for that?
I got you an architecture.
Okay.
Basically, yeah. So I'm simulating your AI here. There are two ways to go about this: push or pull. Discord can tell us when there are new messages, or we can pull for them. The problem with push, Discord letting us know when there are new messages, is that Discord doesn't have webhooks for that. It only has WebSockets, and Valtown doesn't have WebSockets. So we're forced into, and we could work around that, but it's actually, in my opinion, much simpler. I've thought about this a lot, to just do polling. So you could set up a val cron that runs every minute or 2 minutes, whatever. And then within that cron, you could set up a set interval that checks every 1 or 2 seconds for new messages. So you'll get the messages just as fast as you would have from a push, but it'll be a pull.
Okay.
So we could start there. You could just say, you could tell it to tell your agent, create a new cron that runs every minute.
Okay.
That polls Discord for new messages. I would probably have it look through your code base to see what patterns you're using, what libraries, SDKs for making API requests to Discord, and so it can like conform to that pattern.
Okay. Let's see if we can get this going. For auto threading functionality. And I I might, in this case, since I haven't set up this specific code base with Pi, I might stick with AMP because it is like out of the box going to perform better.
Sick.
Um, so I want to say we're going to make a plan for auto threading functionality where if a Discord channel has the description of that includes auto thread,
Hmm.
then we will check it for any new messages that were posted within the last, say, 10 minutes. And if we don't see a thread on that message already, we will automatically create one for them. And we will use AI to summarize what the context of the last few messages are to help contextualize what this current message is that we need to add a thread for. My friend Steve brought up a great point that we should approach this with polling because in our environment, we are unable to set up WebSockets to use the Discord WebSocket API. But in this case, that's fine because we can set up a Valtown cron to run and execute something as we go. Other context is that we do have Valtown watch going, so it will synchronize automatically for us on this branch, and we can use the other Valtown tools like observing logs. You can access everything from VT command. And we can do some things like setting out subagents to do our explorations by creating crons and observing logs.
You should probably also mention that this is an existing Val with an existing Discord bot, and it should, get a lay of the land for itself before going.
Lay of the land. We'll use the Oracle for that. Then I have my canned thing for how to make plans, how I like it.
Nice. AMP.
Based off of the
Cool.
gated thing from Anthropic wrote that whole thing about using gates for each step of an agent's pipeline.
I haven't seen that. That's cool.
So yeah, you basically say that this plan is set up as a set of gates where each gate describes its exit condition, and that only after that exit condition is met or that verification is met, then you can move on to the next gate.
Huh. Neat.
And then I don't do much that's like fancy with to-do lists or anything, or like beads. It's all just a markdown file that says, write back to this markdown file your learnings as you work.
Cool.
But I'm at a limit with this idea, so I have to build some other tools. That doesn't work entirely on its own, but it's going to be very sufficient for our task here. So currently this is setting up auto threading. We can simultaneously.
It's like implementing the plan.
No, it's creating the plan. Should be creating a plan. So that will be what we track against. But we can definitely do some other work with AMP. Can you please research ahead for us some of the caveats of using Discord API, finding and collecting relevant Discord documentation,
For TypeScript.
API docs and examples in GitHub that use basic TypeScript and Bun or Cloudflare workers, since it will mirror our environment more closely. And what and hopefully examples that use Discord's APIs directly rather than using an advanced library or helper. You can use the librarian to do so. So we're also going to set out a
What's the Oracle?
another agent. The Oracle is like ChatGPT 5.2. So the main agent for AMP is through Opus, and then the Oracle is like basically saying to the actually smart model how to like how should I do this? So like
Well, hold on.
Oracle is
You're saying that that ChatGPT 5.2 is smarter than Opus?
For the majority of tasks that I need done.
Huh.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
thought Opus and 5.2 were like the same intelligence, and then like some was like Apple, some was better at some versus the other.
No, that's not been my experience at all. 5.2 is a lot more trustworthy and doesn't go out on a limb.
Cool.
Which is why Codex is so annoying to use, like Bear. Because when you're using Codex Bear, it's always like, I did not run tests because it wasn't asked. And you're like, "Ugh." But if you set up the environment far enough with your good agents file to tell Codex all the things it should be doing as a developer, it starts to become really good, much better.
Nice.
Even
Cool.
though it's a bit slower and more methodical. 5.2 or Opus 4.5, all the Claude models basically feel like they're leaning forward at all times and like continuously going to the next step without prompt, which makes them less reliable for things like that need to be steered or sub-agent stuff. But they're faster as a result of that as well.
Makes sense.
So we have our plan. We can open it. Let's see if it opens in the right place. Yeah. So we could read it if we like. Let's read it together. So maybe Steve, you'll catch something. You'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's."
Could you bump the
Not-
font up a tiny bit?
Yeah,
Nice.
of course.
Nice. This looks good so far. Looks good so far.
So yeah, we have our task list generally, and then a verification. So that's like one to-do list almost.
Nice. I love this.
And then we have a whole separate gate that's like, okay, now the next gate. So it's trying to break it down into de-risked sections. And this is something AMP's really good at because it kind of uses this combination of models between the Oracle and the orchestrator.
Love it.
Orchestrator being our main thread that like when I talk to somebody, that's the orchestrator.
Before we continue, I will say I learned something about your mental model of how this will work that's different than my understanding. So I just want to make that explicit. So the way Needle works in the Valentine Discord is when you make a new top level message in the general channel, as soon as it can, it will threadify that, like instantaneously. And we could achieve this in Valentine. That's what I thought the plan was. But it sounds like your manual process is kind of more what you're thinking about replicating, which is like give it 10 or 15 minutes, see if the conversation develops, and then like move the conversation.
Oh yeah,
into the
no,
thread.
that wasn't my intention.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be immediate.
Okay, cool.
Can we update the plan a bit to emphasize that we actually meant to say we get a immediate like checking? So our cron will be on like a 5-second or 2-second loop, and but we will collect messages from the last 5 minutes, in case or the last 4 messages or something. That's kind of what I meant by that time frame. But this should be instantaneous. It shouldn't wait for people to potentially add messages.
So I get one thing to add to this is Valtown crons. You can't do more than 1 minute triggers, but vals can run for longer than a minute. So you can trigger your cron every minute, and then within that, you can run another loop.
Steve just gave me some additional good advice that a limitation of Valtown is it can only cron as fast as 1 minute every 1 minute, but we can create a pulling mechanism that's every 5 seconds or every second inside of the val to do the checks. So that's how we can emulate this kind of cron every second, and that sort of brings a bit more emphasis on how important it is to be idempotent and ensure you are like not accidentally reprocessing things. Yes.
Yeah, I think especially now that we have scoped SQLite, so SQLite's so trivial in Valtown, it could make sense to set up a little table. But maybe the agent will come to that idea on its own.
Let's see.
I don't know how you feel about what I'm about to say, if you disagree or not, but I feel like if we went about writing this code by hand at the beginning of the call, we could have finished with versus working with AI.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel about? I think maybe once you get set up with AI, then things can get faster. But sometimes I feel like AI slows me down.
I'd love to try it. Like, I'm not sure the best way to approach. My general mentality has been like create reusable systems so I don't have to write things or learn anything anymore. I just learn to use AI better and then it generalizes. But we kind of have shown how I would set things up with
Yeah. Let's
AI.
keep going. Let's keep going. I like how you're like an AI maximalist, and I'm more skeptical. There's a good tension there.
Okay. I am a maximalist. I'm like, yeah, I try not to read code. And this would maybe provide a state of the world for a maximalist's experience using Valtown.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our updated plan. Let's set up a loop for this. So we can say, I'm going to copy it. And we're going to say to run through. And then I have a plan like canned thing for it. And here, I'm wondering if we should collect, like, I might start an agent to start collecting Valtown up-to-date resources and doc sites. Are there like quintessential like locations to look online for like latest APIs or downloading declaration files from somewhere?
Docs.val.town is like a pretty great nexus for all these things. From there, we link to a Towny system prompt. We link to our MCP server. We link to our API, openapi.json file. We link to our TypeScript SDK. I think anything you'd want is linked to from there. And those docs are also available in Markdown if the bot is clever enough to figure out how to find those links. And there are some guides on how to do Discord bots in there too that are pretty good. But in theory, what you have already set up in Valtown is a good enough of a seed.
Um, yeah. Okay, so it's working through it now. And we're going to sort of like try to set up our environment further. There another reason I guess why I do it this way rather than writing code is because I don't know which errors I'm going to hit. Like, oh, this TypeScript thing didn't work how I expected, for example. So on all of those, AI is always faster than me at fixing a TypeScript error. AI is always faster at fixing a linting error. It's because it can do it in concurrently while I'm working on another project. So like, uh, let me just double check. Yeah, these don't have anything sensitive. So I can, so like this is my other agents window that I'm working through. This is not active, but I have
For your day
loops
job?
in them, my day job. Um, so right now I'm kind of setting up Pi for this repository. So I have a bunch of different things. Red ones are where the tabs got bell notifications. So it's like stopped and looking for my attention. And then I have some repositories that are like I'm looping. Um, so like,
Go for it. That sounds like, pull request reviews. Looks
yeah,
good to me, LGTM.
it's basically that. So um, basically having things that go both ways, where you can just kind of like hands off the wheel. Um, usually results in something, if not faster, more remixable. It's kind of like, in a funny way, it's like that phrase, if you want to go if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. Now we can go far, and alone with AI because it creates a code base that forces it to be editable by AI if you know like how to pull it together. There's probably something there. Somebody's going to write a meme tweet from that. But
Nice.
so we have this. I added make sure our agents.md links out to our different knowledge pieces between Discord fundamentals and Valtown fundamentals. And this we can, well, yeah, I'll just, shit, I forgot that it cancels. But I should have queued it. Okay.
What's this, text expander app you're using?
This is just a raycast snippets.
That's what I figured, but
Yeah, and then it's just bound to a specific key binding.
nice.
Um,
I feel like, there's such a good chance that I become a Raycast zealot. I've tried in the past, but it never stuck.
yeah, I need something to synchronize my raycast snippets to something I can access in Tmux because I've started doing a lot more development on my iPad
Mm,
using a terminal, like and SSHing into my main machine. And then I always wish I had some of these.
of course.
Uh,
Raycast for the iPad.
well, I think that it should be in Tmux directly.
Mm,
Like, there's a way to set it up. I saw maybe Dylan Mulroy posted
mhm.
dot files that had a snippets set up, or yeah. one of these people's. Okay. So we can sort of maybe see or start to set up in the Discord a way we can test this. That might be interesting.
Sure.
Um, I have
What
a testing channel.
cool.
What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, what's the status of the agent? Like, what does the code look like? What's been up to?
We're not allowed to look at the code.
All right.
I'm kidding. Okay. We can look,
Well,
but I did.
we don't have to look at the code. I'm happy to look at the plan. What's its description of what it's been up to? What gate is it at? Just I'm curious where it is.
Okay,
What's
let's
going
look
on?
at where it is. We should have.
Does that checkbox, that green check mark, say that it finished this gate?
Yeah. So that
Oh,
would be it's finished.
neat.
It's got its task list verification. Did it put
Great.
anything else there though? That's not that good. Should have encouraged it to write a bit more back to this. Oh, now it
Mhm.
finished gate 1.
Sick. That's what I like to
Um,
hear.
I wonder how it like is testing though. Because what matters a lot is it like actually able to?
How is it able to test in Discord without like us making stuff for it or whatever?
Yeah. So it says it has channel discovery logic. Then thread creation will be next. So actually create threads, implement thread creation logic, deterministic thread naming. What would be interesting is I might steer it a little bit. When you are going for the implementation for gate 2, can you like actually test it by posting a message manually using the Discord, like somehow with the Discord key that you have as part of the cron? I mean, well, actually, Steve, how would you inform the agent of how to test this in the deployed environment?
I would tell it to make a little test script in Valtown that can do what you said, create a message. And then the question is, how do you want, and then we need to give the bot the ability to trigger this script. The MCP has the tool to run a script, but I don't think the CLI does yet. But you can tell the agent to create the script as an HTTP val, and then that accepts a post request, and then runs the script, and then tell it that it can hit this URL. As long as AMP has the ability to make post requests to arbitrary URLs, then we're good to go.
And I might say between edits, you can use VT push to.
Oh, well, sorry, VT push you don't need to do because we have VT wash going.
Yeah, but I see there's a failure. And
The
that might
failure.
be.
No, I think the failures are just like an empty file was failed to get pushed. The rest is getting pushed in theory.
Okay. The one modified one failed. Okay. If there's like any like lint checking type stuff when you try to push, it would be
It'd be
interesting to
useful
get
for the
that.
agent to know that. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can turn off the watch and have it push.
If we're on a branch, will VT expose like, can I do like VT show and get like the HTTP endpoints that are
Yes.
registered?
Yes. I
Is
forget
it,
what
is it
I think it's probably something different, but I don't know what it is offhand. I think it's VT list maybe. Or no, that'll list your vowels. Let's see. I would ask an agent to go check out the VT documentation and see how to get the HTTP endpoint for a val.
Can you check out the Valtown's VT command documentation to figure out how to list the endpoints for the current val? Okay. Yeah, this is an opportunity. If I did VT show and that's not a thing, it should be like, oh, we know that you might want to have done list your vowels, list this vowel,
Well,
tail,
I guess
and then show.
I'm totally with you, and I feel like that would be a really fun thing to add to any CLI. On the other hand, I could see an argument that CLI should be really dumb, not AI things, and then you should supply your own AI, like like AMP, which like figures it out. Like separation of concerns, where
It's more about like self-documentation because if you and another thing to share the what Jeffrey Emanuel does with his CLIs is he'll do VT robots, and then if you have this robots flag, it's basically like interpret this as with the closest possible match that I would definitely mean. So like it's
and the CLI
anything
runs
after
inference.
no.
No,
It's all manual. It's just you ask the AI what is every alias that's possibly like misinterpreted,
that's
and
cool.
then match it. So I do a lot of that for my tools, and it's all deterministic.
I see. That's
It's
cool.
just so that you get something better than this error. Unknown command show. Did you mean clone? It's like, well, Steve, you know better. You know what show could be associated with. You know that there's a lot of AIs that are going to struggle with a new CLI. So you can say, oh, we know that show might have be related to, they wanted to list, they wanted to tail, they wanted to do logs, they wanted to do who am I, and show those specific commands as like alternatives. And then the AI would just do that, one of those.
Cool.
So it looks like we have.
I don't know if yeah, I don't know if the CLI has this, to be honest. This could be an argument for using the MCP server, which does have this. But it's also an argument for adding this to the CLI, of course.
Okay, let's see if we can do more with that. Does docs.val.town already like interpret like accept headers for markdown files? Did you work on that already?
I don't
I
know.
feel like Tom worked on that, if I remember.
I'm looking at it now. It looks like we linked to, maybe it's instead of accept headers, it's .md. If you add .md at the end, but maybe we should also do accept headers.
Okay, it says I should open this, but I think the way that that's cool. Little amp trick, or yeah, amp trick. Did that actually allow me to copy though?
Yeah, they should. Yeah, AMP, come on, you're so close.
You're so close here. Yikes. So it's what do we do? We
Just type
can,
it manually.
yeah.
No, are you? Okay, yeah, Apple has good
We're
OCR. You could use the Apple
gonna
OCR.
try open Apple's OCR.
Okay,
Maybe.
cool. Jamie Dubs is on the line, and he says that he's not sure if Ghosty does it, but iTerm lets you hold Option and click any URL to open it. So try that if you go back.
The issue is that this is like not side to side implemented. Okay, I'll try it. I
Sup,
have
Jamie? Thanks for
Go.
joining.
I have most of it here.
Nice, nice. Oh my God.
If anyone from
How is this
AMP
2026?
is watching, can you please?
Oh, it's command, not option, in order to click a link in iTerm. BRB, hacking Cole's OAuth. Classic. Yeah,
I don't
people
think
are
they have
like,
any.
OAuth is pretty safe.
Loading.
You just have to click it. You have to get to it before other people do. But this is slow enough that someone might be
Okay.
able to.
Well,
What?
I would
What
have
a
to get
nightmare.
your callback URL, but okay. We are. This looks like it's just broken now.
Yeah, what a nightmare.
AMP MCP OAuth login this. So that's what it's trying to do. We're going to somehow kill this because this is definitely a glitch with amps.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got a good repro. It's live. It's recorded. We can send it to our AMP friends.
Okay. Let's see. Client ID not specified.
Why do you have
try
a comma before AMP? Was that on purpose?
Can you set up my MCP? Oh, not even close. The comma is like a shorthand for launching. See if it works the second time. Maybe. Okay, second time it did work.
Huzzah!
The
Sad.
so close.
So close, and yet so far. Well, just being mindful of time. We are an hour and 7 minutes in, so I'm not sure how much time you have allotted for this.
Let me check.
Calendar. I should probably go to lunch soon, actually. But we can always resume later or share the code later or any other insights. Pick it up, part 2.
Okay. Yes, we're in a fun spot at the moment.
You know, what'd be interesting for me would be if you could go to the Val and go to the branch. I just want to see like if any changes did get pushed to Valtown. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
11
Okay,
minutes.
37 versions. All right, so definitely a bunch of stuff. If you click merge, that'll show you the diff. So you can pop it open for each file if you want to see.
Yeah, the Discord channel.
All these, you know, this all seems very plausible stuff so far.
Yes. The main thing that I'm kind of noticing, well, it's weird that it redid those from async, but main thing that I'm noticing like in this experience and session as contrasted with my own experiences building with AI heavily is that it didn't have verification tools. Even though Valtown is touted and it's in this incredibly unique position to make it so easy to verify for a human to
Yes.
see, oh, and for somebody who really knows Valtown, I think you can like rip through this kind of app, as you mentioned. Somebody who doesn't know Valtown is going to approach it more similarly to me if they're more familiar with AI tools. So
100%.
the fact that the CLI doesn't have access to all this stuff makes it pretty tricky to like really unleash a AI to
yeah. I think I should maybe have been more insistent in the beginning that we like get the MCP working. Although there's a chance that maybe we would have struggled to get the MCP working. An alternative is we can use Towny, which has all this stuff pre-configured.
Yeah. It'd be really neat to have Towny, if it used like a sandbox of some kind, to basically force it to use a pre-logged in VT CLI so that you're always optimizing the Towny system prompt to be the exact same behavior as what somebody would do locally. So that we don't have this like separation where, okay, Towny is really good, but everybody else may be using something else.
Well, so the MCP server is a solution to that problem. The MCP server is exactly what Towny has access to, and the MCP server has all the tools you want. So the real showstopper here is that either Valtown or AMP is having trouble connecting from an MCP server perspective. But Claude Code does work, so we could always bounce to Claude Code and the Valtown MCP server. That is a very similar. That should be just as good, if not better, than Towny.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, future thoughts there.
Yeah.
Well, I had fun.
Me
if
too.
you're willing to continue this or notify me if there's some update that might fix one of the road bumps we hit. I'd love to to continue and incorporate anything that comes from that.
Yeah, sounds great. I might, if I have a moment, I might record a little video trying to do it with Claude Code or trying to do it with Towny, and
Like in more optimal, like
Yeah.
we know that Claude Code can use an MCP. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
The MCP can also run things on the like test scripts, so that would be massive.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you don't have like end-to-end harnesses and testing, it's basically a showstopper for AI to be as effective as we can be as engineers.
Exactly.
So, well, I'll be
Sweet.
looking forward to that. And
Yes.
maybe I will fork your Discord bot.
Sounds great. Well, thanks so much for coming on, taking the time, and coming up with this great idea. I think it's a really, really fun application of Valtown, and I'm excited to finish it sometime soon.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for your time and showing me stuff.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Thank you. See ya.